Okay, guys, I think I'm back on live. I apologize for that interruption. As you could hear in the background, my phone was ringing, and it was my son calling. And whenever he calls, if at all possible, I stop to take his call because it's not like I can call him back. And with these excessive lockdowns in Maryland state prisons, it's no telling when he'll be able to call me again. So I apologize for that disruption. But as I said earlier to some people, and I'm saying it to you guys now, um, I saw a video of two students at Parkside High School. Those are my friends who are listening and are from out of state. Um, Parkside is one of our local high schools. And the video showed, again, I don't know what happened before what I saw in the video. And I'm not really interested in what happened before what I saw, to be honest. But what I saw was enough to make me want to go live. So that should give you some idea of how I'm feeling right now. I had to take a few minutes to get myself together and not just come on here yelling and screaming and whatever. Um, because I want you to hear what I'm saying clearly. I am pissed. I am upset. I'm very disturbed. I'm disturbed as a mother. I'm disturbed as a minister. I'm disturbed as an advocate. And I'm disturbed as a member of this community. In the video, we see a black female student on the floor being drug across the floor by, it looks like a teacher. And we see the white student standing above her, screaming, calling the girl a nigger, and saying she's going to get her gun and shoot her black ass. Excuse my language if it offends you, you'll be all right. Um, and I don't know how many adults are in the room, but I only see this one adult that's trying to drag the black girl. And I hear one of the adults, I don't know if it was the same one or not, say, tell the white student to go take a walk. Go take a walk, right? Um, so while you're spewing terroristic threats against somebody that are clearly racial slurs, nobody steps in and and gets and contains the girl that's making the threats. They just tell her to go take a walk. Anyway, I want to just say this from the Mother's Cry organization. I am very angry. I'm pissed and I'm like sickened by what I saw. I don't want to hear anything about kids fight, kids have disagreement. What I don't want to hear none of that. And if anybody's having trouble hearing me, please um, put a note in the comment section. Don't let me just keep going and then you have trouble hearing what I'm saying. Um, so guns in our schools and mass shootings is a part of what goes on in America, right? So when we hear someone say out of their mouth, I'm going to go get my gun and shoot you, then we can only believe what that person is saying. I don't want to hear, oh, she was just upset, she didn't mean it. I get upset with people all the time, but I don't resort to saying I'm going to go get a gun and shoot you. I don't resort to calling people niggers and other racial slurs. That girl made that statement the way she made it because she's used to talking like that. She's used to using those words. That was her go to response when she was angry with this black girl, to call her a nigger and tell her she's going to shoot her. I want to know what the school system is going to do about it, what the city council is going to do about it, what the superintendent, everybody, the um, sheriff's department, Those were terroristic threats, which are federal offenses, really. The last time that, well, I won't say the last time, but another time when a young white male got on social media holding a assault rifle, saying he was going to school, this same high school, Parkside High School. He was going to go to the school and shoot a whole bunch of niggers. All right. Very little was done about that, also. Um, and his mother was a member of our local board of education board. So really much wasn't done about that. Our sheriff said that he talked to the board and the board didn't mean it, whatever, whatever. We don't know what they mean. We just know what they said. All right. There are literally thousands of children traumatized today because of threats and shootings in our schools. So how can we ignore when somebody says, I'm going to kill you, nigger, I'm going to get my gun and shoot you? How can we just ignore that? I know some of y'all saw the same video I saw, and you just said, oh my God, that's horrible, and you kept scrolling. No, we're not going to keep scrolling. I'm speaking for myself, and I'm speaking for a mother's cry. We do not and will not tolerate the disrespect, period. Somebody is going to do something. Because you all know me by now. I don't say a whole lot about things on a consistent basis, but when I speak, I mean what I say. And I don't just talk to hear myself talking. And I have connections that go far beyond who you think I know. You don't know who I know. And I promise you, I am not going to just let this go. I'm just not going to do it. My children, and people are always saying, oh, y'all shouldn't turn everything into black and white. It is black and white. What are you talking about? It is black and white. This country was founded on racism. There continues to be racism. There will always be racism. Y'all can sing all the kumbaya songs you want to sing and hold hands with your neighbor and all of that. It is what it is. Because when that young lady reached a point where she was so angry, she could hardly get her words out. She couldn't get out nigger. She could get that out. And she could get out, I'm going to go get my gun and shoot you. She could say that. And I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, kids will be kids. And none of the kids I know are going around just calling people out their name and threatening to shoot them. None of my kids. So yeah, we're not just going to. Yes, Belinda. The first time when the white boy had the assault rifle, whose mother was on the board, Mike Lewis went over and talked to him. Said he talked to the boy. The boy said he was just kidding and da 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 da. And I think he got suspended for a little while, but in my opinion, he should have been expelled, and she should have faced some charges, and she should have been kicked off the board, but she wasn't. But now here we are again with a white girl saying, calling somebody out their name and threatening to shoot them. And I'm going live because I'm very pissed, as you can tell. I'm really trying to restrain myself. It's interesting how things work because I started this live a few minutes ago, and then you all could hear, those that were listening, you could hear my phone ring, and I got off because it was my son calling, Byron. And he has a way of calming me, right? And getting me back to where I need to be. So I told him what was going on, and he said, okay, well, I'm going to get off the phone because you need to go handle that. And let them know that, you're not tolerating that kind of foolishness. So, speaking of Byron, let me just say this. I remember when Byron was a student at Parkside, and that was a long time ago, but he was a student at Parkside, and he threatened one of I think it was the vice principal at the time. They called me. By the time I got there, it seemed like the whole deputy sheriff department was there. The teacher, the principal was locked in the office talking about she was so scared. anyway, and he didn't even have a gun. And he didn't call her out her name, and he didn't threaten to shoot her, none of that. But they was ready. I think he got expelled from school for that, now that I think about it. So much has happened down through the years. I can't remember everything. But I'm pretty sure he did get expelled. So I'm expecting no less for this little white girl, whoever she is. And again, I don't want to hear no kids will be kids. No, I don't want to hear that crap because several people have already said that already. I stand in solidarity with Demetria Marshall Leonard and her statement, and everybody who she named that needs to be addressed will be addressed, starting with the principal, the superintendent, the whole Board of Education, and then and County Executive Julie Giordano, the County Council and the City Council, and the Mayor and Mayor Randa Taylor. We are calling for immediate, independent, and transparent investigation into this incident. We don't want no more Mike Lewis going by and talking to nobody at their house and then coming back and telling us what they said. We don't want that. We want a transparent, independent investigation, and we want it right away. Right away. We want the students suspended during the investigation, and we want the adults who were in the room suspended for not doing what they needed to do. Ooh, my blood pressure is going up. So, anybody have a question? Yeah, your granddaughter goes to that school. Nobody wants to send their children to school every day wondering if they're going to make it back home. You know, we have enough going on in this country. And, you know, y'all, I'm not taking this lightly. You know, some people like to talk over it and pretend, oh, it ain't no big deal. It is a big deal. We have more mass shootings in schools in this country than any country. Last week, those kids were shot and some killed out there at that school. Y'all so busy focusing on Charlie Kirk, whatever his name is, and forgetting all about that same day those little children, innocent children, were killed. Some shot, some lived, but there was a shooting because y'all so busy focusing on all that other foolishness. But I'm not going to let that go. That's all I got to say. I'm with you, Michelle. I'm with you, honey. I love the Lord and all that, but I'm trying to tell you right now, because even when that incident happened with Byron, he was in the wrong for threatening that woman, but all that extra that y'all were trying to do to my child, don't put your hands on him, don't put your hands around his neck, don't do none of that. Because this is one thing my sons can always tell you about me. When they are wrong, I will tell them, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. And this is why you shouldn't do it. When they were younger, I dealt with it differently. But when they're in the right, they know I would be just as loud and noisy defending them. I've gone out to that same school, now that I think about it, when my son Trey was a student there. Had to deal with a teacher who just came right out and told me in the meeting, I just don't like him. And my response was, he doesn't like you either. And after 5 minutes of talking to you, I don't like you. But that doesn't have anything to do with you disrespecting him. I'm not going to let him disrespect you, and you're not going to disrespect him, period. There's nothing else to be said. We didn't even need to have this great big old meeting. But I'm just telling you to your face, you're not going to disrespect him, period. And the same thing, I don't know who that little girl is, the little black girl that was being drugged on the floor. I don't know who she is. But as far as I'm concerned, she's my daughter. Right? And I don't know what her parents' situation is, but I tell you one thing. If that was my child, everybody over there just about will be being sued for something. Because our children should not. After that incident happened with the boy and the assault rifle, I talked to several young people who were saying, Miss Jamie, I'm scared to go to school. I don't want to go to that school. I don't want to get shot. It's traumatic enough that they have to live through these when they see it happen at other places. But when it happens at their own school, they should not have to go to school afraid that they don't know if they're going to make it back home or not. And I am not going to, somebody always calling me when I'm on the phone. I am not going to, excuse me, y'all. Somebody's doing some work for me, so I really need to give that to them. All right, sorry about that. Um, the school said law enforcement is involved and the school is going to release a statement for what that is worth. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Belinda. But to me, it's not worth much because law enforcement is always involved. But what do they do after they get involved is the issue. I'm telling y'all, I'm fired up. Y'all just don't know. I couldn't go live right after I saw that video because I just couldn't. Right? Some of the thoughts that were going through my head and the words that were going through my head, I had to get myself together and go pray for a minute. And then when Byron called right at that moment, that was perfect timing because he has a way of calming me down, and I needed that. But I'm telling y'all right now, this is not going to go away. We're not going to settle for no slap on the hand. We're not going to settle for no kumbaya moments. We're not going to settle for standing outside together holding hands, saying how much we love each other regardless of skin color. We're not doing none of that. We're not doing that. Our children must be, they must feel safe. And we know it's a lot going on in the community. It's a lot going on in the state. It's a lot going on in the country. It's a lot going on in the world, right? A lot of stuff that we didn't have to deal with when I was a child going to school. Um, but the reality is the reality is the reality. And we have to pull our heads out of the sand, get up off our knees, and go do something. I'm all for prayer. Lord knows we need to pray, but we got to do more than pray. Sitting home in the chair praying is just simply not enough. So I'm going to stay on top of this. I promise you I am. Anybody have any information that they want to share with me, feel free to do that. Because here, this is a perfect time for me to say this as well. A mother's cry is not just about advocating for people who are in prison and for mothers that have children that are in prison. That is like one of our main missions. That's pretty much why the nonprofit was established to deal with those issues. But a mother's cry is about a mother's voice, not just crying like with tears, but crying using your voice. And anytime we see an opportunity or a call where we must respond, we are going to respond. And it's one of the reasons why I get agitated sometimes is because with all the mothers that I know, trying to get people to support and help, even in situations like this, it's like trying to pull teeth out of people's mouths. Like, people can reach out to me and email me and inbox me and what have you and complain about all of their personal issues that they have going on. But when I ask for help to do stuff in the community, it's like crickets. But I'm going to say this, with or without your help, I'm going to stay on top of this situation. If you are interested in helping to, stay on top of this, please do that. And then just like, let me know what you have. We can share information, whatever needs to be done. Because I am not going to ignore this at all. I just can't do it. Our children are going through enough. We've had a lot of death even in our local community. And our young people, whether they're in the right or in the wrong or whatever the case may be, school should be one of the places where they feel safe. I mean, this country has proven that it's not. I mean, the mass shootings are just off the chain, and our government officials, those in power, don't do anything but send thoughts and prayers, which never really saved anybody from getting shot. Um, but we've got to do something. We cannot just sit back and complain. Like Michelle Obama said, do something. So I kind of got that off my chest so I can, my heart rate has slowed down some. Anybody have any questions for me or any further comments? Thank you for sharing that, Belinda. Anybody else have anything they want to say before I go? Yep. And I did. I posted a blog on my a Mother's Cry website about this. So, and I shared that post on the Mother's Cry page. I think it's on my personal page also, if you want to read it. But we need answers and we need them now. We are not going to just let this go. Just can't do it. You have to get tired. My daddy used to say, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do something. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I am sick and tired of all of this crap. And people saying stuff like, oh, I don't, it's never been like this in our country before. What country you been living in? And seriously, what country do you live in? Because this particular United States of America has always been racist. There's always been bigotry. This country was built on that. Let's just be real about it. Stop acting like you don't know. And the Eastern Shore, they daggone shore are racist around here. Have always been, probably always will be. But in the meantime, we can't control everything, but what we can control, we need to control. All right, anybody have any more comments? Any more? My heart is speeding up again. Anything else you want to share with me? Reach out to me, inbox me, whatever the case may be. Because the Mother's Cry is joining the fight, right? Terroristic threats, I don't take. I've never been a person, even growing up, I was pretty quiet. Had a lot of reasons for being quiet and withdrawn. My sister was sharing the other day how on, I don't even know what district. What district is Parkside in? Anybody know? Off the top of your head. Sharon, I don't know, but I mean, I can find out. But my sister was sharing how when I was younger and I was real quiet, I was real small. It's hard to believe now, but I was born really, I was a preemie, so I was really small. And I was small all the way up to adulthood, really. Um, and I would go to school and I was real quiet and shy and, intimidated by people and carrying my Bible and people making fun of me and bullying me and stuff. And my sister Kelly was always getting in fights because she was always protecting me from other people. And I just didn't know how to stand up for myself. But somewhere along the line, I figured it out. And so I don't jump on every bandwagon I see. I'm in Maryland, Sharon. We're in Maryland. We're on the eastern shore of Maryland, Salisbury, Maryland, to be exact. Um, and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm like really getting bad about that. But anyway, I don't jump on every bandwagon and every time somebody's hooping and hollering about something. I don't, just go on and on and on beating a dead horse until it's ashes. But when I see something that I feel powerful about, I feel strongly about, it actually impacts my heritage, my ethnicity, all of that, then something rises up in me and I have to respond. I don't understand how people, yes, ma'am, Salisbury, Maryland. I don't know how some people don't are seeing this video, and they're not responding. I mean, I know some people probably are responding um, off Facebook. I understand that as well. But I've also had people to say to me, children are always going to fight. That's nothing new. So then that ended that conversation because I know clearly you're not the person I need to be talking to because you're on a whole different level. So we are definitely going to be on top of this. If you get information, share it with me that I might not have. And if I haven't found any information, I will share it with you. Again, if anybody knows that young lady of that little black girl that was getting drug on the floor about an adult, somebody reach out to her and her family. Um, that girl, that's trauma that goes with that. I don't even care what happened before that part of the video. There's still trauma that's going to go along with that. And that must be addressed. All right. My grandson, the 6-year-old, he's gotten to the point now where he sees me getting, like if I'm fussing at him, pick up your toys, yada, yada, yada. And he says, Nana, telling me to exhale. I'm like, get away, little boy. But that's what I'm going to go do for a few minutes. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to share with me, feel free to do that. Because a mother's cry, as I said, is not just about people that are in prison. It's not just about our children, sons and daughters behind the wall. A mother's cry, a mother's voice will respond to help any of our children. Sharon Lambert, I'll talk to you. I'll inbox you. But I will say this publicly. I hope our local NAACP gets involved. And I'll leave that like that. All right. Anybody else? All right. I appreciate you guys responding to my SOS and tuning in. And as I said, if you come up with any information, any ideas, any suggestions, feel free to hit me up. All right. Thank you. You all have a great day. Bye-bye. All right, Sharon, I'm getting ready to inbox you.